Hey students, we are in lesson 12-4, convert metric units of length. And today you will need your workbook, definitely some scratch paper because I have an activity on these slides that you'll need to copy down. And pencil, workbook, because we still have some guided practice problems in it. And a multiplication chart if that can help you with those bigger multiplication problems. So here is our learning goal. I can convert metric units of length. We are on page 501. Here is our solve and share. Measure the length of your book in centimeters and then measure it in millimeters. What do you notice about the two measurements? So I have one book right here, and I'm just gonna measure the length of it. So on this little ruler right here, you can see that we've got our inches over here, and that is our customary system that we typically use in the United States. There are other countries, however, around the world that use the metric system, and it is a base 10 system. And that'll make more sense when I get going on my slide here. We are on the opposite side of the ruler. So here's our inches, which looks very familiar, right? We've got 1 foot here, 12 inches in a foot. We are gonna flip-flop over to our other side. And here you can see it says metric. So here is 1 centimeter, 2, 3. Each of these dashes are centimeters. So I'm gonna measure this book here, Ghost. I'm pretty sure Marley got this for me, I think. Dropped off books. And I'm gonna measure it, and we are at about 19 centimeters long. So let's go ahead, let me plug in my smartboard. Sorry, I'm trying to use it, but I hate doing this, so that's why it was unplugged. I don't have enough USB ports for it. Okay, beep, beep, beep. Okay, so we've got 19 centimeters on there. Now, what I want you to notice on this ruler here is we've got all these little dashy marks. So if you see between this first dashy and 1, how many little tiny ones do I have in there? Actually, I'm gonna have you look. Try to answer. Okay, we've got 10 in each of these centimeters, and those are the millimeters. So in every single centimeter, we have 10 millimeters. So then if I have 19 centimeters for the length of the book, how many millimeters would that be? It would be 190. All right, so what we need to fill in here is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. And there's gonna be a little tool that I have that helps train us in really you're swooping that you can move the decimal. So remember in each of these numbers, we've got a decimal at the end of it. And when we move our decimal once a certain direction, so let's say I have 11, my decimal there. If I move it over this way, remember, and we annex in a 0, that's like multiplying it times 10. Now let's say I have the same 11, my decimal's there. If I move it around this 1, just one spot, that's like dividing it by 10. And that's the way the metric system works. You can get 10 times greater, or you can get a 10th greater or divide it by 10 going the opposite direction. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about. And then you're gonna ask yourself, wow, why do we do it the other way? And I will say, I do not know, because we are difficult. So there is a very strange, odd phrase that my chemistry teacher taught me in 10th grade, and I never forgot it. So here we are, me teaching it. I should let him know that I do this. So the strange phrase is, kill happy ducks before dad catches me. It's odd, it's weird, it's a little dark, but I want you to write it down on your paper for math. It is the order of our units when we are working with the metric system. It's a device to help us know, like our first one, K, is kilometer. And we add that meter to it because it's with the kilo. Our base unit is meter. So what you're gonna notice is that each of these are broken down with meters. And some of these we hardly ever use, right? I would say the ones that are most common that we use is the millimeter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer. Think kilometer like a 5K, if you've ever ran a 5K maybe. I feel like Aiden maybe has run a 5K. Then you know that is in the metric system. That converted to customary would be like 3.1 miles. So you can think about the miles that we've talked about in our customary unit. So our K is kilo, H is hecto, D is deca, B stands for base unit. So if you think back to our customary, we went through our length, our liquid, and then our weight. This will work for all three of those in the same way for the metric system. So in our last one, we had to say, well, there's 12 inches in a foot, and then there's 4 quarts in a gallon, and then there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. And it was kind of all over the place, like somebody just went and made it up, because probably that's what happened. I don't know what happened. But here, this works for our meters, it works for our liters, and so every single time, you're gonna just be able to come back to this core thing, and we're gonna be working on this over the next 3 or 4 days. So let's say I want you to pause the video here, and I want you to fill out, write down your kill happy ducks before Dad catches me. And then below that, we're gonna fill out some numbers for meters, but we'll label it. So make sure you pause and get that filled out, our weird saying. And then I'm gonna start to fill in some numbers. So underneath your before, I want you to actually write an M above your before so we know what our base is, which again is our meter. So let's say I have, I don't know, like 300 meters, and put a little M after it. Now, remember when we travel this way, when we are going from here to here, we're actually getting smaller. Because this is a bigger unit of measure, we won't have as large of a number. So I'm actually gonna be moving my decimal point. If I'm going from here, I'm gonna be going over 1. And my new decimal is gonna be here, and it's 30. So 30 decameters is the same as 300 meters. So then I can do it again. If I'm gonna go from here to here, over 2, I'm gonna go the same direction, the same number. Go 1, 2. So then this would be 3 meter, HM, sorry. This would be DM for decameter, hectometer. And so 3 hectometers is the same as 300 meters. 30 decameters is the same as 300 meters. All of these are the same distance, and all we have to do is swoop to get there because it's a base 10 unit. So then I can also go back 1, 2, 3 from my meters. 1, 2, 3. This would be 3/10 of a kilometer. So you'd be hardly into your race if that's what you're running. Now, if we go the other way, it is getting smaller. So what we would do here is these are smaller units of measure, so our number is going to be bigger because there's going to be more of them. If you think about back to our centimeters and how many little dashy marks, 10 in a centimeter. So when I do this way, if I'm going from my meters to my centimeters, swoop-dee, then I'm gonna just, So if I'm going from meters to centimeters, let's use my green. I'm gonna be adding on or annexing zeros at the end. So then this would be, this is why I hate the smart board, but it's okay. It's like you guys are really here. Wow. Because this is what every day was like last year. Okay. Put that down. If I have 300 meters and I'm going to swoop over once to go from here to decimeters, then I'm going to have 3,000 decimeters. Okay, well, if I go 1, 2, then I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to swoop it twice, and I'd have 30,000 centimeters. And then if I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, then I go 1, 2, 3, and I'd have 300. Look, it's already off again. 300,000 millimeters. So you can really see how this tool up here can help us move our numbers quickly down here. So go ahead and write this first problem down. We have 3 kilometers equals blank meters. Remember, miles is MI. This is meters. All right. So what I'm gonna have you do is below your problem, I want you to write your 3. And then I'm gonna rewrite. Once you know the little saying in the phrase, you can just write K, H, D, B, remember we're in meter land here, D, C, N. And I write these lowercase because they're tiny, and I write these uppercase because they're big. And that's about it. Okay, so I have 3 kilometers, so I'm starting here. This is where I'm starting. And I want to get to my meters, so I'm going to end up here, but I have to stop at every single one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'm going to start at my decimal, right? I started here, I'm going to start here. The decimal's at the end of the number. I'm going to go to the same direction, the same number of loops, and then annex zeros in those loops. 1, 2, 3. Now, what you might be thinking is, Miss Collins, well, didn't you just multiply that by 1,000? Yes, because there are 1,000 meters in a 1 kilometer. However, you'll use different units at different times, and in this, there's like 4 that we really use in our meters, and it changes with our liters when we get to that, and then our next unit of measure. But this is just one way that you can like consistently do it every single time. So let's look at our next one. We have 25 centimeters. And so I'm going to be starting at centimeters, and I'm going to millimeters. This is our millimeters here. And actually, yeah, I should put in, because our base is meters, so decimeters, centimeters, millimeters, so you don't get confused and start here and go back to here. So we're getting smaller. So I'm going to start here, and I just went 1 loop to get over to my other one. So I'm going to go 1 loop, annex my 0, and that's 250. And that makes sense because there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, right? You with me? Okay, let's keep going. Let's try another one. Now we've got 1,200 centimeters. Always write it right below it so we can do our swoopties. I don't want you just watching me do the swoopties. You got to do the swoopties. And we got to get to our meters. So I'm going from centimeters to meters, my base unit, not millimeters. So now I'm going to be traveling in a different direction. We've been going to the right in all of these and making our numbers bigger, going from a larger on our left to a smaller on our right. We're doing the opposite here. I'm starting at centimeters, and I'm going to go back 1 loop, left 1, another loop. So I went left 2. Remember, my decimal is here. I need to go left 2, back 1, back 2. New decimal is going to be right there. So what you're noticing here is you've got a comma and a decimal at the end. Don't use the comma. Don't take this and swoop back twice. That is not what you want. You have to move the decimal, not the comma.
Can I have a custodian to the office, please? The custodian to the office, please.
We're going to keep going because it's 13 minutes long. Okay, so then instead I have 1,2.00. That's just 12 meters there. And that makes sense because there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So we have 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. I'm going to lose it. The smartboard's already off again. You guys, it kills me. Okay, not really. I'm being dramatic, but it's also annoying. So now I've got 15 meters to millimeters. So I'm starting at my meters, and I'm going to my millimeters. Well, I know that's 3 loops away. So it's like multiplying by 1,000. It's the same thing. So, okay, well, we've got 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. If I go 1, 2, 3, I'm going to take my 15. You guys probably already wrote it below because you knew that I was going to ask you to do it. No, and put my period there, and then I'm going to loop it. 1, 2, 3. And what do we annex in there? So there's new, crisscross out the old, and we add in our 3 zeros. So then we get 15,000, which makes sense. If you take 15 times 1,000, you just add in those zeros. But this can be a great tool, especially when you get into more complex conversions with the metric system. This is always here for you. When you have decimal numbers, this will always be here for you. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at a little guided practice. I'll probably just have you try a couple on your own to see how you're understanding and checking in with me. So pop over here. So this is 10 to the power of 3. Well, we know what 10 to that's going to be 3 zeros in there. So really this is 10,000. Or wait, yeah, no. It's 1,000. Sorry, I'm losing my marbles. It's 5 o'clock. No, just kidding. And I need to switch that to meters. So up here, what I want you to do is write your kill, happy, ducks, before, dad, catches, me. And then our base unit is meters. And so if you want to go in and add your little baby in on each of them, you can. Okay, so I need to go from centimeters to meters. So I'm going to go from centimeters back to my meters. That's my base unit. I don't really need to write that. So I'm going to go back 1, go back 2. So I'm going to take my decimal, go back 1, go back 2. Well, okay, that equals 10 meters. All right, I want you to try on this next one. We have 58 meters, 2 millimeters. Remember, we've got 1,000 millimeters in a meter. Go ahead and give it a try. Okay, let's write our answer in. If you said 58,000 millimeters, you are spot on. All right, let's try another one. You guys try number 5. Okay, let's check. We're going from millimeters back to centimeters, so we're only going back 1 loop, so it's going to be 100. This one you have to be careful. You can't use that comma. The comma is not a period. The comma is a placeholder for, as our numbers are our place value. The decimal is between whole numbers and fractional amounts. All right, go ahead and try number 6. We're going from kilometers to meters, where there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Okay, if you said 3,000, you took your 3, you swooped 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Got red on red there. There we go. We have 3,000. Okay, we'll work on some of those comparisons in group. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.